Mentoring Missions Advocates. This is GlobalCASTresources.com.
Hello, I'm Bevan from GlobalCAST Resources. And I've become aware that I'm often operating out of my Western mindset, which is highly individualistic. And how that works out in my missions mobilization is that I'm thinking about the individual only. I'm working, I think, with God to invite them to find their purpose and their role and what God is doing in the nations. Great, but I'm not in touch with the fact that those individuals represent and belong to families, communities, people groups, right? Well, God is not operating that way. He is thinking about the individuals. Yes, it's true that He's interacting with individuals, loves and sees individuals, and is inviting them into relationship with Him and defining their purpose with Him. And yet He's also thinking about whole families, whole communities, and whole nations. You can see that throughout the Old Testament when He's speaking through His prophets. Often they're speaking to whole cities and whole nations. You can see that in His Son when He's speaking to Jerusalem and crying over Jerusalem and inviting them back into reconciliation with God. This is God seeing and having unfulfilled dreams for even whole communities. So how does He accomplish His purposes in whole communities? Well, again, through people, through us, through His bride, through the body of Christ. Even though we're flawed, He's given us this privilege of co-laboring with Him on behalf of not only individuals, but whole nations and whole communities. So I think when we operate as missions advocates and missions mobilizers, as leaders in the body of Christ, we can stay engaged with individuals, but also try to stay aware of God's heart for the whole community. Maybe try to ask Him for insight on His unfulfilled dreams for whole people groups and whole communities. Picture what it would be like when they see His heart for the nations, when they find out more of what He's up to and what their part is. Maybe it'll bring revival and maturity and life and purpose, and in not just to individuals, but to the whole. So I think this is something that we can learn from and try to stay aware of as we partner with God on behalf of individuals and communities.
Mentoring Missions Advocates. This is GlobalCASTresources.com.